Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel and to another video. It feels like it's been forever since I filmed anything on here, so I'm really excited to be back. I am here with my Art Fantasy Bingo TBR. If you've never heard of the Art Fantasy Bingo board, this was a bingo board created by Reddit, and essentially there are 25 reading prompts. There is easy mode or hard mode, and you have to pick a book that is either fantasy, sci-fi or horror, and it's to help you branch out your reading taste essentially. Get to books that you have been putting off for ages, and you essentially pick a book that fits either the easy mode prompt or the hard prompt. You can choose to do both of them or do either or, and it starts basically from the start of April and it goes all the way through until March 2026. So you've got quite a lot of time to get through all this. So I wasn't going to do this initially, but this is my first year going to try to do this, but I kind of got FOMO because Steph from Steph Love, she's done the Art Fantasy Bingo for a couple of years now, and she says it's really good fun and the prompts can be either really good or quite challenging. You do have an option to swap out one of the prompts if it doesn't work out for you, and you can do one reread. So I don't think I've got any rereads on my list when I also go through it, but I don't think I've got any rereads, so these are all brand new books to me. So without further ado, let's just crack on with my Art Fantasy Bingo TBR. Okay guys, so I've got my laptop over here, so if I happen to look down at my laptop, that's what I'm doing. I've got all the information with all the prompts and all of my book picks. I've also got my phone with my bingo board as well to keep me right. I won't talk you through the full synopsis of these books because we'll be here all day, so I'll just give you a quick little synopsis, and yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm just going to start and go row by row. So on the first row we have Knights and Paladins. One of the protagonists is a paladin for easy mode, and for hard mode the character has an oath or a promise to keep. So I've decided to go for a brand new release which comes out in May, so it's coming out very, very soon, and the book in question is The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillick. I will mention most of these books I do own on my Kindle, but I do have a couple of physical books here, so I will put up a graphic for the books that I don't physically own. So The Knight and the Moth, I am so excited for this book, and I've read from Rachel Gillick previously. I've read the One Dark Window series and I really, really enjoyed it. It's very dark and gothic, and I really, really enjoyed Rachel Gillick's writing style. So this one, from best-selling author Rachel Gillick, comes the next big romantasy phenomenon, a gothic miscloaked tale of a prophetess who's forced beyond the safety of her cloister on an impossible quest to defeat the gods with one knight whose future is beyond her sight. So it sounds so good and I'm really excited, and the cover is just absolutely beautiful. Prompt number 2, we have Hidden Gem, and that is to read a book with under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. New releases and arts from popular authors do not count. Follow the spirit of the square. And for hard mode, the book was published more than 5 years ago. So for this one, I've decided to go for a middle grade. I don't really read middle grade that much anymore, but I went on to my want to read on Goodreads to see what I had that was under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, and this was one of them. And this currently has 697 ratings on Goodreads, so it will count. And the book in question is Potkin and Stubbs by Sophie Green. This is a middle grade, and it came out in 2019, so I think it might hit hard mode. I'll need to double check, but I think it might do. So this one, we're following a young girl called Lil Potkin, and she's determined to be a young reporter, and she's on the lookout for a new scoop. And it's very spoopy, atmospheric, warm at heart, and it's the first book in a detective trilogy, so it's a kind of a mystery as well. And she meets Nedley, who's the ghost of a boy that no one else can see, and Nedley has been looking for someone to believe him ever since the investigation into his disappearance went cold. And then they end up meeting a down on his luck private investigator who might hold the clue to Lil's hidden past. So it sounds really, really, really cute. So that's going to count for Hidden Gem. And then next up, we have Published in the 80s. Read a book that was first published any time between 1980 and 1989. And for hard mode, the book is written by an author of colour. So I won't get hard mode for this one, but this one was the only book that I physically own that is published in the 80s. And it is an absolute chonker. And I have read from the author before, but this is a massive jump for me. And the book in question is It by Stephen King. This is an absolute brick. It's over 1,000 pages. I don't know what have I let myself in for, but the book is quite floppy and quite nice to hold, so hopefully it's just quite a nice experience to read with. And this was published in 1986, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1986. So this one, you probably know what it is all about. It's about a group of kids who live in Derry, Maine, and there's this entity that's called It. It can take the form of a clown called Pennywise, and it basically lives in the storm drains and the sewers. It lurks, taking on the shape of every nightmare, each one's deepest dread. And then time passes and the kids grow up, move away and forget until they're called back once more to confront It, as It stirs and coils in the sullen depths of their memories, emerging again to make their past nightmares a terrible present reality. So it sounds absolutely terrifying, but I am excited to give it a go. I'm going to save it for October Halloween spooky season, and I am debating of actually doing like actual sprints. Coda, from my lovely friend Coda on BookTube, I asked him if he would be like emotional support, come on sprints with me, because he has read It and absolutely loved it. He's a big Stephen King fan. So yeah, hopefully this will be my goal for towards the end of the year, but I am excited to give this one a read. Okay, so for prompts number 4, we have high fashion. Read a book where clothing, fashion or fibre arts are important to the plot. This can be a crafty main character or a setting where fashion itself is explored, and the hard mode is the main character makes clothes or fibre. So I think I will get hard mode for this one. I've decided to go for Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. I have read from Elizabeth Lim before, Six Crimson Cranes, and I really enjoyed it. This one is kind of a Mulan retelling, in a sense. A gifted tailor in disguise, 3 legendary dresses, the competition of a lifetime. So we have our main character, Maya, I think that's how you pronounce it, works as a seamstress in the shop of her father, once a tailor of renown. She dreams of becoming the greatest tailor in the land, but as a girl, the best she can hope for is to marry well. When a royal messenger summons her ailing father's court, Maya poses as his son and travels to the summer palace in his place. So yeah, it is essentially a Mulan retelling, but more about fashion and tailors and seamstresses and stuff like that. So it sounds really good. And I think this is one of Elizabeth Lim's first releases as well. So that'll be interesting to go back and read one of her first books, because I really enjoyed Six Crimson Cranes. And then the final prompt for the first row of the board is Down with the System. Read a book in which a main plot revolves around disrupting a system, and hard mode, not a governmental system. So for this one, there is also Storygraph, where people can recommend books for each of the prompts on a Storygraph, and this came up as one of them, so I'm assuming that it will fit. I don't know if it will fit hard mode, but I've decided to go for All Systems Red, the first book in the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. This is a novella, a sci-fi, and we're following a team of scientists who are conducting surface tests shadowed by their own companion supply droid, a self-aware sec unit that has hacked its own government module and refers to itself, though never out loud, as Murderbot. Scornful of humans, Murderbot wants to be left alone long enough to figure out who it is, but when a neighbouring mission goes dark, it's up to the scientists and Murderbot to get to the truth. So it sounds quite interesting. I think it's quite a slice of life kind of vibe, so I'm really excited for that one. So I'm now going to move on to the second row of prompts, and for this first one, we have Impossible Places. Read a book set in a location that would break a physicist. The geometry, the volume bigger on the inside, the directions merely a suggestion. In hard mode, at least 50% of the book takes place within the impossible place. So I've decided for this one to go for a horror, and the book in question is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Klewa. I've been meaning to get this one for a while, and this one follows a couple who end up buying a house. It is queer, I think, and they end up buying this house, and then all of a sudden a family turn up, a dad and his kids turn up, and he asks our main character if he can go and explore inside the house, because he used to live in this house, and because our main character is a people pleaser, she ends up letting the family come in to have a look around the house, and then all of a sudden there's a lot of weird creepy stuff that starts happening. Our main character's partner ends up going missing at some point, so I don't know how that's going to go down, but I'm really excited. I don't know how much of it will take place within this house, or if we'll get like parallel worlds, but this came up as an option on the Storygraph as well, so I'm assuming it will count for for that prompt, but I'm really excited for that one. Okay, so our next prompt is a book in parts. Read a book that is separated into large sections within the main text. This can include things like acts, parts, days, years, and so on, but it has to be more than just chapter breaks. In hard mode, the book has 4 or more parts. So I don't know if this book will cover hard mode, but I think it should be okay for easy mode, and it was on the Storygraph options as well. And the book I've decided to go for, I do have a NetGalley arc of this one. It comes out in May, and it is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. I'm really excited for this one. And this one is a massively woven and playful, inventive tale of imperial intrigue, cutthroat competition, and one scholar's quest to uncover the truth. So I think it's like fantasy kind of competition vibes, dark academia kind of vibe, I think. So I'm really excited for this one. It's about we are the Raven and we are magnificent. So epic fantasy, mystery. Yeah, it just sounds really good. Then next up, we have Gods and Pantheons. Read a book featuring divine beings. And hard mode is there are multiple pantheons involved. So I don't know if this one will cover hard mode, but I have decided to go for The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I know Kim from Uncommon Kim is going to be thrilled that I'm picking this one because she loves John Gwynne. This one is set in a brand new Norse-inspired world and packed with myth, magic and bloody vengeance. The Shadow of the Gods begins an epic new fantasy saga from best-selling author John Gwynne. So I'm really excited for this one. I've only read Malice by John Gwynne ages ago, but I did like his writing style, so I think it'll be good for me to go into a brand new series and hopefully binge it and really enjoy it, because I'm definitely getting into my Norse mythology a lot more. And then next is last in a series. Obviously, last in a series. Read a final entry in a series, and for hard mode, the series is 4 or more books long. So this will count for hard mode, and I have started the series this year. It's the final book in the Legends of Desmar series, which is Shadow and Storms by Helen Schurer. I don't know how you pronounce her surname. I'm going to have to figure that out. Schurer? I think that's how you pronounce it. But this one is a fantasy romance, and we're following a main character, Althea, and also Wilder. It's slow burn romance. I think I'm actually going to go back and reread book 1 so I can binge the series, but this is the final book, so I can't really tell you anything about this. Women are banned to be warriors. They can't use weapons, and our main character is secretly training with a weapon, and Wilder ends up becoming her kind of mentor, so there's a bit of romance there. But the first book, Blood and Seal, I really enjoyed, so I'm really excited to binge the series and continue on with that. Stop. And the final prompt for the second row of the bingo board is a book club or read-along book. Read a book that was or is officially a group read on Ad Fancy. Every book added to our Goodreads shelf or on the Google Sheet counts for the square. You can see past read-alongs here, and for hard mode, read and participate in an Ad Fancy book club or read-along during the bingo year. So I think it will count for hard mode for this prompt. And I did have a look to see what books were on that list, and I do own one of the books physically, which is great, and it is actually my May buddy read for my own book club as well, so it's perfect that this was an option. But I've decided to go for Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I am obsessed with this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this one is a standalone, which is perfect too. The first woman ever admitted to a prestigious order of mages unravels a secret conspiracy that could change the practice of magic forever in the standalone dark fantasy from the author of The Sword of Kaigen. So I'm really excited for this one, and I hear there's a lot of female rage in here, which I do really tend to enjoy. Like misogynist, like women in this society as well. So I'm really, and it's quite, seems to be quite short as well, and I have been in an epic fantasy slump quite recently, so I'm hoping this could be the book that could help me get out of this reading slump. And I've never tried an Emma Wan book before, and I know I've got The Sword of Kaigen is on my KU, on my Kindle, so if I do enjoy this one, I do want to try The Sword of Kaigen as well, but I'm really excited to get to this one. So I'm now going to move on to the third row of the bingo board. So our first prompt for the third row of the bingo board is Parent Protagonist. Read a book where a main character has a child to care for. The child does not have to be biologically related to the character. In hard mode is a child is also a major character in the story. So I've decided to go for The September House by Carissa Orlando. I'm really excited to get to this one. I know Steph has read this and really enjoyed it, and I think this might count for hard mode. So we have a couple who end up buying this house, and the house is haunted, ends up getting haunted, and the family decide to stay in the house, and the family has a young daughter, and I think she might play quite a part in the story. I don't know, I don't 100% know, but I think it might count for hard mode for that one. The next up we have, now I do apologise on how to pronounce this word, epistolary. I think it's how you pronounce it, honestly. The book must prominently feature any of the following: diary or journal entries, letters, messages, news, paper clippings, transcripts. And hard mode is the book is told entirely in that format. So for that one, I've decided to go for episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. This is a horror, and I've heard amazing things about it from Steph, and I think I'm going to do the audiobook as well, because it's I think it's meant to be a full cast audio, which I've never really tried in the past, so I think that this could be the one that I really enjoy with an audiobook. So for this one, we're following, it's a heart-pounding novel of horror and psychological suspense that takes a ghost-hunting reality TV crew into a world they could never have imagined possible. A beautiful Russian doll of a story. Episode 13 hooks you, creeps you out, and then it overwhelms you. It's House of Leaves meets the House of Haunting of Hill House in all the best possible ways. So it sounds really good. Descend into a living nightmare, well written, generally unsettling. Fans of paranormal documentaries, ghost hunting shows, and found footage horror will lose their minds over this one. So it sounds really good, and I know Steph absolutely loved this and I think she gave it 4.5 stars or maybe 5 stars, I can't remember, but I think she really enjoyed that one. Next up, we have the prompt of published in 2025, which is very self-explanatory. A book published for the first time in 2025, no reprints or new editions, and hard mode is also a debut novel, as in it's the author's first published novel. So I won't get hard mode for this one, but this is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood by Daniel L. Jensen, and that is A Curse Carved in Bone. I am beyond excited for this one. I absolutely adored A Fate Inked in Blood when I read it last year. It was my favourite book of last year. So I'm really excited to continue on with the series. It's Norse mythology. We have Freya, who's our main character. She's in a loveless marriage with a man that she doesn't love, and she ends up falling for the son of the Jarl, who are these warriors. It's Norse mythology, and she has a drop of goddess's magic in her, and she ends up in a forbidden romance with the son of the guy who's in charge of the Jarl warriors. So it is so good. So I'm so excited to continue on and finish off this duology. I think it's just going to be a duology, which I'm a little bit sad about, but I'm so excited to get to that release. Then next we have author of colour. Read a book written by a person of colour, and hard mode is read a horror novel by an author of colour. So I won't get hard mode for this one because this is a fantasy. But I've decided to go for The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hassim, and Sarah Hassim is American Egyptian, and this one is I've never really read a lot of fantasies that are Egyptian mythology, and I used to love Egyptian mythology when I was younger. I still kind of do. So this one is an unmissable tale of shattered kingdoms, forbidden magic, and cunning royals unfold in this Egyptian-inspired epic fantasy debut. So we have a princess who is basically in hiding. She has to go on the run, and then she ends up enemies to lovers romance with a guy of a neighbouring kingdom, I think. So I don't want to know too much going into this. And this edition is so floppy. Like, I'm absolutely obsessed. Look at that flop. It's so good. And I think the second book is coming out, or it has just come out recently. So if I really enjoy this one, I might maybe do a binge of the series and continue on with the next one. But I'm really excited. And this cover is just absolutely stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. Then next up we have small press or self-published. Read a book published by a small press, not one of the big 5 publishing houses or Bloomsbury, or self-published. It is formally a self-published book that has been picked up by a publisher. It only counts if you've read it before it was picked up. And for hard mode, the book has under 100 ratings on Goodreads, or written by a marginalised author. So for this prompt, I've decided to go for Don't Let the Forest In by C.J. Drews. I think this one is from a smaller publisher. Let me have a look. Fuel and Friends. So I've never heard of this publisher before, so I'm assuming it will count. And I don't know if it has been traditionally published, so I'm assuming it is self-pub, and I think it was an option on the Storygraph list. So this one is queer, and it says, once upon a time, Andrew cut out his heart and gave it to this boy, and he was very sure Thomas had no idea that Andrew would do anything for him, protect him, lie for him, kill for him. So this is a horror, a queer horror, so I'm really intrigued about this one, and the cover is absolutely stunning. It's really, really, really pretty. So that is the final prompt for the third row of the board. So I'll now move on to the fourth row of the board. Okay guys, so we're now on to the fourth row of the board, and the first prompt is Biopunk. Read a book that focuses on biotechnology and or its consequences. In hard mode is there is no electricity based technology. So I don't know if this will count for hard mode. I think it might do, but I'm not too sure. But I've decided to go for the second book in the Monk and Robot series, which is A Prayer for the Crown Shy. I really, really enjoyed the Monk and Robot series, A Psalm for the Wild Wilds, which is the first, the very, very short novella, sci-fi, cosy slice of life, and we're following a monk and a robot, a tea monk, and it's just so cosy and lovely and very, very sweet, and it's, the robot is trying to find out what its purpose is and what people need. Sorry, the camera just moved there. And it's just so cute and sweet. So I'm really excited to continue. There's only just 2 novellas currently out, so I don't know if Becky Chambers will write more in the future. I really hope that she does. But it was so, so cute, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I needed to put the second novella on my list. So I'm really excited to get to that one. Then next up we have Elves and or Dwarfs. Read a book that features the classically fantasy archetypes of elves and dwarfs. They do not need to fit in the classic tropes, but must either be named as elves or dwarfs or easily identified as such. And hard mode is the main character is an elf or a dwarf. So I will get hard mode for this one. So I'm going to put on Cursebound by Sarah El Arafi. This is the second book after Feybound, and our 2 main characters are both sisters, and they're both elves. So that will count for that. They're from the Kingdom of the Elves. And our main character, who is called Yiren, she was a general in the army, and she ended up getting banished from the Elven Kingdom. And her sister Lettel, who's a seer, they end up going on this journey together, and they end up coming across the Kingdom of the Fae. So there's Fae in here as well, and it's queer as well, so which is great to see. And I'm really, really excited to get to this one. And this is a stunning fairy edition that I got in fairly recently. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm obsessed. And I think there is going to be a third book, so I don't know when that is coming out. So I might maybe do a reread of Feybound, because it has been a little while. Or I think there might be potentially a recap in here of what actually happened. Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. Then next up we have LGBTQA plus protagonists. Read a book where the main character is under the LGBTQ IA plus umbrella, and hard mode is the character is marginalised or at least one additional access, such as being a person of colour, disabled, or a member of ethnic, religious, cultural minority in the story. So for this one, I've been so excited to get to this one ever since it came in, and I haven't had a chance to get to it, but I decided to go for Sorcery and Small Magics by Magia Ducey. This came in a fairy last year, and this one is queer. And Leo Vander Lovage, he is a master of small magic, and it is enemies to lovers romance between Leo and Sebastian Grimm, and he ends up putting a curse on Leo, so they have to go on this journey together to break this curse, and I'm assuming that there will be some romance involved in here. So I don't know if this will count for hard mode, but I'm really, really excited, and this is a stunning fairy edition. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I'm so excited. It's definitely giving me spring, summer kind of vibes. Yeah, I'm just really, really excited to get to this one. Then next up we have, I think this one is a recurring square on the board. We have Read SFF short stories. Read any short SFF stories as long as there are 5 of them. And hard mode is to read an entire anthology or collection. So I have actually completed this prompt already. So I ended up reading the Creature Feature collection, which are very, very short horror novellas through Kindle Limited. So I read one by Grady Hendrix, Josh Mallerman. I read Grady Hendrix, and there was a couple of other ones that I've read, but I've gonna do another set because they've brought out another creature feature collection, and that one features again Grady Hendrix, Josh Malerman, Joe Hill, Catriona Ward. So they are really quick. They're definitely under 100 pages. Like, probably the longest one I've read was like 50 pages, and they're very quick to get through. Just very short horror novellas. I've also got another anthology collection, The Black Girl Lives, I think, which is black horror short story, so I might do that one as well if I've got time to fit that in. But very quick horror novellas, so they're very quick to get through, and I think it's a good way to also try different authors, because there was a couple of authors that I'd never read before, so I would be interested in continuing on with reading some more from those authors. And then the final square on the fourth row of the board is Stranger in a Strange Land. Read a book that deals with being a foreigner in a new culture. The character or characters, if there is a group, must either be visiting or moving in as a minority. And hard mode is the main character is an immigrant or a refugee. So I won't get hard mode for this one, I don't think. But this was also an option on the Storygraph, so I'm assuming it will count. But I've decided to go for the next book in the Wayward Children series by Shauna Maguire. So I am currently on book 4, which is In an Absent Dream, and these are essentially portal based fantasies. So we have young kids who end up finding various doors to different portals and different worlds, and when they come out, they struggle to get back into society, or they end up staying in this in their own portals, or they end up getting sent to Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children. So each story and novella follows a different kid. So I don't know who we're following in this new novella, but I have read the first 3 and I did enjoy the majority of them. So I'm really excited to continue on. They're very quick and very short to get through. Okay guys, so we finally have made it to the final row of the board. I didn't think we would ever get there. So the first prompt is to recycle a bingo square. Use a square from a previous year as long as it does not repeat one of the current cards, as in you can have 2 books for 2 book club book squares. And hard mode, not very clever of us, but do the hard mode for the original square. Apologies if there are no hard modes for bingo challenges before 2018, but that still leaves with you with 7 years of challenges with hard modes to choose from. So I decided to recycle, I can't remember what year it was from, but it was the Romantasy bingo square, because I'm definitely in a romantasy mood. And so I've decided to put on Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. I've been meaning to get to this. It's been on so many TBRs and I haven't picked it up yet. And I know I'm going to love it, but I don't know why I haven't picked it up. This is a dark kind of fantasy with horror kind of vibes. Welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules in the game: stay alive and don't fall in love. So we're following our main character Ophelia's sister, who disappears, and she ends up entering Phantasma, a deadly contest inside a haunted mansion, and claim its prize, a single wish. And then she ends up meeting a mysterious stranger who offers her a bargain, who's called Blackwell. So I'm assuming there must be a romance that happens between them. And in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. And I know the sequel, Enchantra, has just come out recently, so I do want to binge this series as well. And this is a really floppy indie paperback as well, but I've got Enchantra on KU, so I can just go straight into that one as well. So yeah, Phantasma is definitely going on this TBR for sure. Then next up we have Cozy SFF. Cozy is up to your preference to what you find comforting, but the genre typically features relatable characters, low stakes, minimal conflict, and a happy ending. And hard mode is the author is new to you, so I will get hard mode for this one. But I've decided to go for something totally out of my comfort zone, but it is cozy. In a sense. I've decided to go for Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John Wiswell. This is a cozy fantasy with horror elements, so it's definitely out of my comfort zone for sure. But I've heard really good things. It's sapphic as well, which is great. And it says here, discover this creepy, charming, monster-slaying fantasy romance from the perspective of the monster by Nebula award-winning debut author John Wiswell. So this is basically a romance between a monster and a monster hunter. So that's definitely out of my comfort zone for sure, but I love the cover for this one. It does look really, really cozy, but obviously it's got the horror element. I think there might be body horror elements in here, so I don't know if that will be comforting or not, but it sounds really, really good, so I'm going to add that onto my bingo board. Then next up we have a generic title. Read a book that has one or more of the following words in the title: blood, bone, broken court, dark shadow, song, sword or throne. Plural is allowed. And hard mode is the title contains one or more of the listed words or contains at least one word and a colour, number or animal, real or mythical. So for this one, I've decided to go for, it's another sapphic romance, which I'm trying to be a lot more inclusive with my reads recently. And this is A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. It's got the word dark in the title. And I have read from Alison Saft previously. I read A Fragile Enchantment, which I really, really enjoyed. And this one is following a sharp-tongued folklorist must pair up with her academic rival to solve their mentor's murder in this lush and enthralling sapphic fantasy romance from New York Times bestselling author of A Far Wilder Magic. So I'm really, really excited for this one, and I do love the gothic kind of vibes, but it is dark academia, which I don't tend to really enjoy, but I have read from Alison Saft previously and I did really like her writing style, so hopefully this one will be a win for me. Then we also have Not a Book. So basically do something besides reading a book. Watch a TV show, read, play video games, all that kind of thing. So you can tick that off as you go, essentially. And then our final prompt is pirates. Read a book where characters engage in piracy. Hard mode is not a seafaring pirate. So for this one, I've decided to go for the second book in a series, which I've read the first book in, which was Can't Spill Treason Without Tea. And this one is A Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne. A cosy fancy packed with plunder. So we're following Chianthe and Raynor, who we met in the first book, and then we end up following they end up getting involved with pirates. So I don't know if they are seafaring pirates. I'm assuming they are, so I don't think I'll get hard mode for this one. Are desperately hunting for dragon eggs to save their hometown. Unfortunately, they secure their prize. They must strike a deal with the local lord. Begrudgingly, the couples join forces with Bobby, one of the lord's constables. She's determined to capture the troublesome pirates, but lawmaker and lawbreaker have a complicated history, and it could jeopardise everything. As Chianthe watches this relationship wreck from afar, it quickly becomes apparent that the pair need all the help they can get. Luckily, matchmaking is Raynor's favourite pastime. The dragon eggs may have to wait. So it sounds really, really, really cute, and it's also really, really floppy. So that is my complete Our Fantasy Bingo TBR, and I am so excited to get to all of these books. Okay guys, so I'm going to wrap up my Our Fantasy Bingo TBR video. I really do hope that you enjoyed. Do let me know in the comments down below if you're going to take part in Our Fantasy Bingo. Let me know if there's any books that you think would suit these prompts better. If you've got any recommendations for me, leave them down below. Leave me a pirate kind of theme emoji, because I was just talking about pirates' life for tea. Do leave me one of those if you were watching the video but didn't have anything to say. I am really excited to get to all of these. I love how I've got quite a mix of horror, some sci-fi. I'm not the biggest sci-fi reader, but I do have some sci-fi in there and a lot of fantasy. Hopefully some series. I'm going to finish out some duologies and things. A lot of shorter reads, novellas and stuff like that. So I think I've got quite a good TBR. But do let me in the comments down below if there's any books that you think don't work for the prompts. If you think I should read something else, do let me know. But let me know if you enjoyed this video by hitting the like button and subscribe if you want to. I would really, really appreciate it. And I would like to quickly mention I've also just become a rep for Luna Bookish Flame Candles, which I'm so excited about. They're my favourite candle company at the moment, and I'm going to be a rep for them from May until July, so I'm so excited. And I do have a discount code that I can share with you all to get you 15% off of the candles by putting Claire 15. If you put that at checkout, you get 15% off the candles, and I would recommend that you go and get some candles because they are the best candles I've ever used. The Woodwick candles, they are so good. So I will leave a link to Luna Bookish Flame's Etsy shop and my discount code in the box down below if you want to treat yourself and get some lovely candles, because they smell incredible. So just while I've got you all here in my video, I thought I would mention that. So I am going to wrap up this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Hit the like button and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you guys all in my next video very soon.